Hello. I made it here earlier than 3. I did good, guys. Extinction, you're first. Now that's something to accomplish. How are you, Death? Glad you're in here, dude. How's the day, everyone? My day's been crazy. Like I said, I'm pretty tired. But I really wanted to show you guys how to make this food tonight. And it's not going to cook itself. So either way, I would have to cook it. So I might as well chill with you guys while I do it. You just got home and chilling out. Nice. That's a good feeling. I almost didn't stream, but I like to be with you guys. I'll catch up on my stuff tomorrow, I think, and maybe tonight. Just feeling a little bit behind. As you can see, I haven't really gotten to my recipes and stuff for the week at all, which is due to me having to grocery shop yesterday. So like all of my timing in my life is like very down to the minute almost in how I do things. But even when it gets crazy, it's nice to just kind of take a breather and regroup with yourself. And if you're that person that gets flustered easily, then take a day to yourself to kind of relax and recuperate. But I think that I will be okay. Like I said, it's not like a huge ton of prep for me today on dinner, and I would be making it anyways, so why not teach other people how to cook? Because it's going to be a pretty fun one. Thanks, Death. I appreciate that. And that's the whole thing is like, when I don't stream, I know people would be like, well, now what do I do with my day, right? So it's nice to have that little bit of push from my viewers as well to just keep me going. Because you know what? Being an entrepreneur and like trying to do your own stuff is not easy. You don't really get weekends or days off or anything like that, really. And that's my own choice, of course. So sometimes I just have to suck it up and be like, you know what? Do your stuff like you're supposed to. And then you'll have to just regroup another day. So today, finally another Travel Tuesday. It's been a couple of weeks where we haven't really done any crazy kind of cuisine. So we're going to do France today. Going down to the south of France to Provence. So we're doing some Provencal style food. I'm really excited to use this trout today. This is Steelhead trout. So we'll go over that a little bit. I haven't even made up my prep list or anything. And like I said in Discord, I have no recipes to use today. So we're just cooking. We're just kind of doing whatever we want and we'll see how it goes. Skip, how are you? It's been a while. And Karen, good to see you in here. Guys, I have added Karen as a mod. She is Rush's wife. And sometimes Rush falls asleep on us, which is totally okay. Like I said, I don't really expect my mods to all of them be in here at one time. So I like to have around 5 or 6 different mods so that even if someone can't make it to the stream, at least we have somebody, like 1 or 2 people, just to be here to help us out and chill with us. So yay. Welcome in, Karen. Good to have ya. Okay, so let's get into what we are doing today. Because I'm sure by my title, you guys are like, what is en papillote? What is this? I know that's what my dad said when I told him what I was making. He's like, trout and what? It's called en papillote, which actually means in paper. So you actually cook it in a parchment paper pouch. So we're going to kind of steam the trout today. Very, very fresh way to cook fish, and I like it. It can be a little bit difficult. Just because you don't want to keep opening the pouch and letting the steam out and then checking if the fish is done, and if it's not done, you'll have to do it back up. So this is going to be difficult for me even today because I don't typically do it with the whole fish. I usually just do fillets, and depending on the thickness of your fillet, you can kind of time it out accordingly. But my guess today to cook these probably going to be around 20 minutes. I'm going to take the head and the tail off and just leave the nice loin there for us, but we are going to keep the head and the tail so that maybe we'll make some kind of a soup or a fish stock to have on hand for whatever. And not sure if you guys saw the chicken stock that I posted this morning in Discord, but it turned out really well. So we cooked it for 16 hours overnight, and I strained it this morning. It is golden and it tastes delicious. You're here to keep them trolls away. Yes. Yeah, Skip's like, I'll see myself out. Rush, how are you? Good to see you guys in here. Okay, so that is en papillote. And then I have some summer squash here. I have a couple different varieties of squash that we're going to cook today. And this is all from the farm. So we have one. So this is the one that I'm trying to grow. But it got downy mildew. So it's very, very slow growing compared to what they have at the farm. This is called the crook neck. So you can kind of see how it has that neck that's kind of turned. Here's a smaller one. That's how they look when they're smaller. And this guy, you can get them in green and yellow. These are called patty pans, and they're really, really nice. So all of these are very similar to this, which is just a zucchini. So the skin on all of these squashes is really nice and thin, so you don't have to peel them. And the seeds should be pretty small inside, so you don't even have to scoop any of the seeds out. So I think we'll just kind of thinly slice those, maybe on the mandolin today, and put those in with the trout is what I'm thinking. Or we'll just do a separate kind of parchment pack with the vegetables together. But I don't know, like, I think it will taste different, or maybe not as good if we don't put it with the fish. So maybe we'll put just a little bit with the fish and then do another separate pack. Like I said, I have no recipe for this, so I'm just flying off my seat. Optrix, how are you? You're still awake for now. No worries, Rush. I'm happy that I can kind of guide people to sleep while cooking. I mean, I used to do that so much when I would work late, come home, just throw on the Food Network, and if you fall asleep on the couch, then you fall asleep on the couch. You're downloading Endless Space 2 at the same time. Stream will be a little choppy for the next 20 minutes. No worries, dude. Okay, and then the rest of our Provencal ingredients, so tomato is a big one. We just have these gem cherry tomatoes here, multicolored. And then olives, which I'll just grab. So we have a couple different kinds of olives today. I believe these bigger ones with like quite a dark flesh, but they're very plump. Those are Provencal style olives, whereas this one that I'm grabbing, that's like all shriveled up and weird. So this is a Moroccan olive, and it's actually sun-dried. So they're quite a bit saltier than your typical olive. So just be careful. But I really love olives, and those are kind of my two favorite ones. And I thought that the salt and brine would complement the fish really well. Rook, how are you? You did 2 today. First was best. Nice, Rush. A small herb sachet would seem traditional for fish in Provencal style. Yeah, I did pick up. So let's go over what I picked up from the farm today before we go any further. So I got a nice bunch of flat leaf parsley. I don't think you guys are ready for this head lettuce that we picked today. I was like forced to take this home, but I really don't have room for it. Are you ready? It's probably gonna fill like the whole thing. Like, what is this even? Who grows this? Welcome to Canada. Like, I've never seen lettuce this big. Absolutely insane. But you know what? I tasted it and it's so, so good. Like, what is this? It'd be really good for lettuce wraps, though. I don't know. That could be a thing. Yeah, my lovely voice. Oh, thanks, Rush. You're baking Polska kobasa. Making Polish sausage today? Yum, Optrix. Viyun, welcome in, everyone. Come on in. We're just starting up. I'm just showing off what I harvested today at the farm. Yeah, is that a bouquet for vegans? Pretty much, Millie. Prodigious, how are you? Yeah, biggest lettuce I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, it looks like a Texas head. Everything's bigger in Texas. Yeah, genetic engineering. But this is like from an organic farm. So I guess the soil's really good. We were kind of joking about that the other day at work. It's like farmers are really just people that make really good soil. It's like they're really into dirt. It's not always about the veggies because your base of your dirt has to be good for your vegetables to be able to grow. So farmers are just really good dirt makers. You've seen smaller bridal bouquets. Exactly. So I did pick up 3 more heads of garlic today. So this is how they come. And you can keep them like this on the stalk and they'll kind of just dry out that way. So I'm kind of stocking up on garlic this way. I think I might have like 8 heads in my cold room already. Elvin, welcome in. How are ya? Farmers are like gossip columnists, always trying to get the best dirt. Yes, so good. And then this is a new one today on the farm stand. Bluebers, probably one of my favorite berries. I eat blueberries at least 5 days a week. I put them in my smoothie. They're really good antioxidants, and when they're fresh, I probably just eat them like this. But maybe on Thursday we'll do up an ice cream and just do some fresh berries and cream. I think I would be down with that. How do you guys feel? Use the garlic things as maces of garlic against vampires. Yes. Just gonna start hanging them by all the windows. Protect myself. It was a tough day. What happened, Elvin? I've had a rough one too. I'm just freaking tired. Not even joking around with you guys. Like, I feel like I got beat down today. We did a lot of stuff at the farm. So that was my haul, plus 4 pounds of potatoes, which we'll be using some today. So that's why I got 2 bags instead. So today at the farm, a little recap of what I did. We started in the greenhouse and we're just tying up the cucumbers, which are now taller than me. And I actually was able to harvest a couple cukes today. They're like that big. And I think they're not long English, like they're really spiky. So just like a plain cucumber. But I don't like the feeling of them because they're so spiky. Even on the leaves and the stems, everything. You like blueberries on vanilla ice cream. Pretty much, yeah, that is what I'm going for. Is like when I saw those, the first thing that came to my mind, let's make ice cream. You would be okay with genetic engineering if they did useful things, like have onions not make your eyes water. Yeah. Like, why don't they actually do something productive instead of trying to make new stuff? You hated when your mom made you pick the berries. Come on, Extinction. Those were the good old days. You have a couple of nice blueberry plants? Nice. I've never grown blueberries, but obviously they grow really well out here. 6 feet tall. That's big. Yeah, the vampires are invading Vancouver. It's true. I should bring my garlic there. Okay, so after the cukes at the farm, that took like a good half an hour. You do have to prune cucumbers the same way that you do tomatoes. So wherever the fruit bearing part comes out, so wherever there is a flower that's blooming, there's typically a sucker, is what it's called, which is another vine that's trying to shoot out and grow more fruit. But if you let those stay on the plant, all of the energy is going to go to the sucker and not the fruit. Same as a tomato. So you just kind of break that off And then the plant just kind of dries it up there, but the plant's not going to die. So that's really useful, and you'll just get better producing plant that way. And after that, we harvested potatoes. So we did more German butter potatoes, or just like a yellow flesh. We did purple potatoes, which are really lovely. Not sure if you guys have ever used those. I have a few red potatoes and banana potatoes. So banana potatoes and fingerlings, kind of the same thing. And I would say we probably harvested between 150 and 200 pounds of potatoes today. It was a day. A lot of like hands and knees work. So my knees are actually pretty sore. And I got super dirty. Yeah, you are a vampire. Now we know. And after we did the potatoes, we finished off clearing the bed with these crazy head lettuces, which they're selling these for $3.50. I think they're ripping themselves off. Like, I would easily pay like $7 for that. There's no way that you could eat that all in one meal. Insanity. And that's it, guys, for the farm. Lots of work today, but it was still really fun. Okay, let's get into a little bit of history and fun facts before we start. And then we'll kind of make our prep list for today and start cooking. You think it's the same value as 5 heads? I would think so, Optrix. Gotta get rid of it before it goes bad. Yeah, exactly. So like I said, something with these big leaves, maybe some kind of lettuce wrap would be great. I know you would like this. I was like, Alvin would love this. Like, what? This is like a small shrub. So there's that. Let's get into what un papillote is. So un papillote, or in Italian, it's called al cartoccio, is a method of cooking in which the food is put into a folded pouch or parcel and then baked. The parcel is typically made from folded parchment paper, which we will be using today, but other materials such as a paper bag or aluminum foil may be used. I don't think the paper bag would work very well because whatever liquid would just soak right through it. You wouldn't really be able to steam in the same way. And aluminum foil, I don't know if I would use it. I would be afraid of like stuff oxidizing on it. So I would always just stick with parchment. You are paper skip. What is going on here? Enters the stream, looks left, looks right. You just dabbed at me, baby Thea, and you ran. Just dabbing and running. I don't appreciate that. Okay, so the parchment parcel holds in the moisture to steam the food. The pockets created by overlapping circles of parchment paper and then folding them tightly around the food to create a seal. So kind of the same way that I was folding over the pastry for the Cornish pasties is the same way that we're going to create that parchment pouch. So you're kind of crimping the paper as you go. The old dab and run. Yeah, that's just steaming with foil. I don't know. I wouldn't really like that. They came back and said hi. Hello. Okay, so the papillote should be opened at the table to allow people to smell the aroma when it opens. So I've never done one of these on a menu before, but I would think it would be so amazing to open up that pouch at the table and just like waft all of the smells at your guests. Like, I would totally pay for that. I don't even care how much it costs. So the moisture may be from the food itself or from an added moisture source, such as water, wine, or stock. I think we'll put in a little bit of wine today. Some nice white wine. Can't hurt us. And this method is often used to cook fish or vegetables, but lamb and poultry can also be cooked in papillote. Choices of herbs, seasonings, and spices depends on the particular recipe being prepared. So like I said, we're doing Provencal style. So squash, tomatoes, and olive. And I think we'll use olive oil, some garlic, a little bit of shallot, and probably parsley and lemon. We're gonna get a good mix of flavors in here. Very fresh, very summer. But wheat germ. You'd slap Karen with one of them trouts. Man, has anyone here actually been slapped with meat? Because it is like one of the weirdest feeling things ever. Okay, so that's en papillote. So let's get into Provencal style cuisine a little bit so we can understand it just a touch more. Because I'm sure some of you are like, what? What are you saying, woman? Well, of course there are limits. I mean, there's only so much someone can charge for a dish before people are like, I'm not spending that. And then they would just waste the food. Your girlfriend slapped you with meat and screamed at you to cook it yourself. You've had a fish jump into your face. I have been slapped with a really big steak before at my first ever kitchen job. So I was like totally that newbie, right? And we were just screwing around. It was like, I think there was actually 3 girls. There's 3 of us in there and the rest was all guys. Typical. And we were just screwing around one day. And I don't know really what I did to deserve it. I don't think I did anything like wrong. But I just turned around and I was just like, psh. And it just like the feeling of it when you peel the meat off of your face, when it makes that like weird sound. I was like, ah, I'd never wish that upon anybody. You Icelandians don't cook lots of meat, but you love fish. And we're going to have a little chat. We're going to do a little food for thought today about fish and how food is grown for us. Okay, Provencal cuisine. It is high-spirited but simple, focusing on preserving the taste and texture of seasonal fresh ingredients like tomatoes, garlic, saffron, if you can get your hands on it, peppers, anchovies, olives, olive oil, and wild herbs. It is above all Mediterranean and familial, which means it's typically shared family style. It isn't restaurant cooking, for which France is famous with their haute cuisine. So the obvious question is, can this cooking be found in restaurants? The answer, yes. If the grandmère happens to be in the kitchen, so your grandma. Usually you can only get your fingers on it because the bottle opening is small. Oh man, here we go. Yeah, fish farms. You support fish farms. I do, only if they are sustainable though. Like not all fish farms are bad, which a lot of people have that preconceived notion that it's like, oh, this fish was farmed? That's terrible. Why would you buy that? But there are a ton of trout farms actually on the West Coast. So it is a big thing out here. What's the best fish I have worked with? Probably halibut. So this one time at work, so I used to work with someone from Hattagwai, which is on the island here, up north though. And that is mainly native in descent up there. So it is a reserve. And our sous chef was from Hattaway. So quite often we would let him go away for the weekend and he would come back with fish. So this one time he came back with a fresh halibut that was like caught the day before. And he just whipped it out, filleted it for us and was like, here is my present for you for letting me go away and like visit my family and stuff. And that was by far the freshest fish I've had. But you know what, guys? Even though it was that fresh, I still found like a worm in it because halibut are bottom feeders. So you're not going to get away from that. Wild buffalo. Thanks for the follow, baby. Welcome in. Whoa, they're doing an ebook version of LaRousse. There are farms on lakes where you live for trout. Yeah. We'll get into the trout a little bit later as well, right after I finish reading this. Oh, hello there, Liz. Welcome in. We got a first timer here. Okay, so Provencal cuisine is obviously in the south of France. So they have a huge influence from both Italy and the Mediterranean. So I really like this cuisine. It has quite a few of my favorite ingredients all kind of mashed together. So if you ever see like a niçoise salad, that is Provencal, where you're mixing like tomatoes, eggs, fish, capers, lots of herbs. And it's very hot there, right? So they don't eat a lot of heavy food, which is why it's more like seafood and vegetable focused. Liz, yeah, it's flooded. You really think halibut's gross? The best fish was a red salmon freshly caught. I mean, that's definitely the freshest fish I've ever had. But I don't know if it's definitely been the best fish. The one side of salmon that I got here from a family friend, that was the best salmon I've ever had. You got a 5.4 pound one last time. It filled the whole baking sheet. That's amazing, Death. You used to have a job that paid in food. Yes, exactly, Skip. You only did it for the halibut. Everything really is flooded. Oh no, Rook. He went in, lost all of his bones. That's it. You're like Peter Griffin, no bones. Just like slithering around in your skin. All the bones are gone. Your new coworker has a stash of candy. She told you I can grab some whenever you want. Oh, that's always good. Keeping Liz alive. Gross is the wrong word. They must be cleaned and cooked properly. Fact. Guys, don't do it. Gambling's off the table for a little bit. Okay, so steelhead trout is what I'm cooking today. So I found a really cool article that kind of explains what this fish is. Because some people call it trout, others call it salmon here on the West Coast. And it can get really confusing. So let's read it up a little bit further. So the fish, according to like Canadian fisheries, were at one time considered a trout species, but have been discovered by biologists to be more closely related to Pacific salmon than other trout. Even though the current consensus is that steelhead aren't salmon, they're trout. So it still says that on the sticker from when I bought it. It says steelhead trout. So they obviously have not converted fully. So the fact remains that the steelhead really is a perplexing beast. It belongs to the same species as a rainbow trout, but it acts a whole lot like a salmon. All the trout hatch in gravel bottom, fast flowing and well oxygenated rivers and streams. Some stay in the fresh water all their lives, and those are the rainbow trout. The steelhead are the ones that migrate into the ocean, and they change color and get much, much larger than the resident rainbow trout. So rainbow trout is pretty small, whereas obviously steelhead is almost closer to a salmon, right? But I think they need to take on that size to be able to survive in the ocean, right? Katie Poo, I love it. Don't even feel wrong saying that. My day was good. It's busy. I'm feeling a little bit behind on like my week, but I think I'll be able to catch up tonight. Viyun, you did it. You're like, I'm taking a chance. Clorox sponsor, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Okay, so just like Pacific salmon, steelhead return to the rivers where they were born to spawn. Unlike salmon, however, they don't necessarily die after that happens. Because whenever salmon go into the river to spawn, they die within a couple days after that. It gets really gnarly. That's when all of the bears like to migrate over here, and it can actually get pretty dangerous. And it stinks because you have all these dead salmon on the shores. So some will actually return to the ocean, and they don't necessarily need to go out to sea to complete their life cycle. Okay, so can I find anything else? Not really. So they're very similar to salmon, and you will see that when we look at the flesh in a little bit, when we go to kind of butcher it up a bit. Death, last you heard you can't fish for steelhead. It's a big fine. Wow. Not enough of them, so they ship them in from other areas. That makes sense. BC has a huge steelhead population though, and I actually really enjoy that fish. Do I have a sous vide? I do, Rook. I have the Anova. So I don't know what's going on Prime Days for sales right now, but if they have the Anova, which I'm not even sure they do, that's what I have used for at least the last 3 years. And I have the Bluetooth one. It's really, really good. We also have an Anova at work, if that helps at all. So if like an industrial kitchen can use one, I think they're quite durable, and I've never had any problems with it. And the other one is the Jewel, which is smaller but more expensive. And I've not really heard anything about that one, to be honest. I haven't even looked at the Prime sale. I didn't even do any shopping last night. There was the Food Lab book was like half off, but I don't know if I need to spend money on that right now. Yeah, they were all necessary. With Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You heard the steam makes the temp readout fluctuate? Well, I feel like the people that said that don't have it set up right. Because whenever you're doing sous vide, you need a lid on it. Because otherwise that steam escapes, and then you're losing water as well. So if you want to do a long cook, your water will evaporate at the higher temp. So you always need a container, obviously big enough, but something that has a lid. And then typically I just cut out the lid for where the sous vide is. So let me show you just for a sec before we get started. And I think you can buy this online as well. So this is called a Cambro. We use it in the kitchen. So obviously it's like just around 10 liters. And here's the lid. So we just cut out that top part of the lid where the sous vide fits in. And then let's check this. So this is a case that Sam bought. It's by Caseling, it's called. And this is the setup. So you have your sous vide here, your power. And then this is what you put over, I guess, the shaft here. And that attaches onto your container. So this is our little sous vide setup. And I wouldn't recommend any other one. Never had a problem with this thing. And plus, if you buy it off Amazon, you can exchange or return with like no hassle, which is the best part. Okay, let us do our prep list. So, for our steelhead, we need to take the head and tail off. So I'll just say butcher the fish. We need to prep our vegetables. So we need to shave the summer squash. Shave squash. Have the tomatoes. We're gonna leave the olives whole, and they do have pits in them. Not sure if you guys like ever cook olives, but they get really nice and soft and like almost buttery when they're cooked. So they kind of change in flavor a bit. Yeah, an igloo cooler also works. I mean, depending on the price, but I just like to use the camera because I'm used to using that. Okay, so we're having our tomatoes. We need to slice garlic and shallot really thin to go in there. Pick some parsley. I'm not gonna put dill with the fish because we're gonna do dill on the potatoes. So we will have to slice a lemon as well. And I think that's it for the fish. And then just make our papillote, which will be fun. And our potatoes. So we need to boil potatoes. And all we're gonna do is toss them with butter and some dill and salt and pepper. You did not need a USB fan. Oh my goodness. That would be epic. A squatty potty? What? Yeah, that is what you need every day. Back to the toilet, I see. Didn't take us long, did it? Okay, so I guess we'll start by doing up our fish. And then we'll just stuff them up, put them in the pocket. And like I said, I think it will take around, let's say 20 minutes to half an hour. And I haven't really thought about a temperature yet. But let's do something around 375. You don't want to go too high when you're cooking with parchment because otherwise it can burn and kind of fall apart. Oh God, the steaming poops. Just what you need in a cooking channel. And I'm not really upset about that. I'm not scared of it. Okay, these things are pretty big. I don't know. Will I even be able to fit it on here? I might need 2 cutting boards. Gotta do the double cutting board just so it's long enough so it doesn't touch my wooden one. That setup though. It could be chocolate ice cream. But why is it steaming? Okay, so these trout were only $7 each, which is why I picked them up. I was like, that is a steal. This is rough. I can't open it. She won't even let us in. It's rocky road. Hey, Nike, how are you? Ah! Okay, it's actually pretty bloody inside. I didn't expect that. I'm just gonna get a paper towel. Anyone squeamish, it's gonna get weird for a bit. And I'm not sorry. This is a fact of life. Anytime you eat meat, you've already killed the animal, even if you didn't do it yourself. So grow up. Skip, thanks for the biddies. I'm ready, Nike. Let's hear it. Okay, he's all cleaned up. It wasn't that bad. Could have been worse. Oh God, maybe it's not okay. There's slime coming out of his mouth. Come on, bro. Get yourself together. So today you go in and your DM and GM have a talk with you. They're concerned for your mental health since I've confessed and said you've had them, and they want you to get better. They mailed you a paper that allows you to go to any doctor on their dime and get checked out. If you clear, you can come back to work. And they took your key also. It's kind of sad but kind of awesome because they literally care for your well-being. That gives you hope for this world. That's awesome, Nike. And there's nothing, honestly, more important than your mental health. And I think in this day and age, it's very difficult to like kind of stay sane and keep up with the world. Yeah, nobody gets mad at Venus flytraps eating live insects. The fish doesn't look fresh? What are you talking about? Look at this little guy. I love his little mouth. Like, how is this not fresh? His eyes are clear. This looks amazing in color. It doesn't smell bad at all. I just want to know why you think it doesn't look fresh. And like even the gills are still super nice and red. Okay, I am getting... Probably gonna go with the scimitar, our big guy here. It's just the easiest. So all I'm gonna do is just cut off our tail end here. Probably somewhere like that. Yeah, the fish looks dead. What happened to it? And like I said, we are not throwing that out. So look at the color of that flesh. Beautiful. And then if we go over here, the way to take off the head is you always just pull up this little fin here, and we're just gonna cut on kind of a diagonal just behind the gill. We'll do that on the one side, flip it over, do the other side, and then you should be able to just kind of press down and go through the backbone. Oh, I'm not even filleting it extinction. Yeah, I'm leaving it whole. We're having fun today. Hey, Steampunk. The fish looks amazing. Thanks. I thought so. For $7, how could you not? So there's our one. And see how nice and clean that cut is. Flip it over. Just do it like a Chinese buffet. Yeah, sear it whole. Just freaking throw it in the deep fryer. No problem. So bad. Okay, so now we have our head here, as you can see. This is actually very delicate, so I should be able to just slice right through that. Done. Donezo. And there is, so don't worry about the blood. That's a thing, obviously, but look how much meat and stuff is in here. So this is great for a stock. And that's why people do make fish head soup. And now I'm gonna be just a little bit picky. I wanna just take these fins off. It'll just make it a little bit easier to serve later on. And fins can be actually a little bit of a pain in the butt to take off. But this is a pretty small fish, so it shouldn't be too bad. Just take off a super small amount of meat, as little as possible. And I'm totally okay with there being that little hole there instead of the fin being there. Because it goes through the whole piece of meat anyways, as you can see here. So you would end up pulling it out, whether it's cooked or raw. Yeah, blood in an animal. What? You have to make the fish head talk. Yeah. Hello. How are you today? I didn't know if that was like against Twitch rules or not. Like, is this being too savage? I don't know. I'm gonna leave that top fin on. That's not gonna really affect us. And then if we look here, so obviously it's like still all attached together. I don't know if it's possible to just open it up a little more. Trout have a lot of bones, yeah. And they're small too. So every line here, that's a bone. So yes, there is a lot. Going to Twitter, scream that outrage. There we go. Actually worked quite well. Okay, so now we just kind of open that up a bit, and I'm good with that. We don't really have to clean it out more. If you're really anal, you can give it a little wash first, but I think this looks great. We're not gonna go any further. So let's do the next one. Yeah, maybe someone has a fish fetish. Kitchen shears work well. Oh, I do have a setup there. But you know what? I already dirtied my knife, so I'm not gonna dirty my shears as well. The fish is super fresh. That's why I was like, how can you say it doesn't look fresh? Like, the flesh is so firm. It doesn't even smell like anything. Holy, this guy's got some teeth though. They're sharp. Okay, so once again, I'm just gonna kind of sop up whatever juices are in here before we go any further. Happy Chef always makes the fish talk. Okay, that makes me feel better then. Here we have 2 fish because we want leftovers. That's a thing. Just in case there's something. Just in case he spits up Just don't bite me, bro. Ouch. Sharp little fangs he's got. Dirty, dirty shears. Oh, Jim. It's so fresh. Yeah, it's talking. It's so fresh. Oh, God. Tail off again. Just move that over. Obviously, that is a little bit tough to get through because you're cutting through the backbone. Just don't be scared, though. You got this, guys. Is it descale? It's not. But these scales are so small and nothing really comes off. It's not like a salmon. Like you can even see where I marked it up, but nothing even came off on my hand. Whereas like typically, okay, here's one. After I clean a salmon, my hands are usually just like riddled with scales stuck to it. So this is a lot nicer to work with. Ariel. There we go. Oh my God, you guys are still going on. They're upset. Okay. Just our little fins. And we'll open it up again at the bottom. And we're well on our way. It's so easy. Anyone here like buy whole fish on the regular? Or is that a weird thing? Like, do you typically not buy a whole fish just because you know you'd have to come home and do this to it? Yeah, they're a good sized trout. So these are steelheads. This is like a West Coast thing. They're actually more similar to a salmon than a trout. So obviously you can tell by the color of the flesh and the size. It's too expensive to buy a whole fish? Oh yeah, maybe for you, Helicopter. And also, how are you? Nice to see you in here again. But the UK has got to have some good fish. Yeah, the bears only eat the heads. Oh, we see that all the time during migratory season. It's just like a whole perfect salmon with the head gone. And then Posh, if she's with us, just goes and rolls in like the stench. It's like, why do you have to do that, dog? Why are you like this? Okay, just doing a little wash up. I'm just gonna put those into this. Oh, I was gonna put it in this Ziploc bag, but it has a hole in it. Put those into a freezer bag, and we'll use them for a stock of sorts. Yeah, they're small steelhead. It's true. They could get a lot larger, like almost the same size as salmon. But it's perfect for cooking in this method. That's for sure. And that's not really messy. Like, I wouldn't say that's super messy to clean a fish. If it wasn't fresh, there would be like a lot of weird stuff all over this. Okay. Bears eat the heads and skin because it has the most fat. Yeah, they're smart. Death, you'll cook them full sometimes with the head on, then rub the skin off and decorate the top. Nice. Yeah, you should totally stream that one day. Okay, packing up our heads for some zuppa. You do the whole salmon where you work. You buy one, just be worried where to cut. Well, now you know, Rush. I got you. Don't use shears for cutting of fishes and get some fresh... What are you even talking about? Coco is wild, guys. We'll just pretend like they're not here. I am no longer reading what you're typing. Because ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. We butchered our fish. We don't have to dress them yet. I think we should prep up all of our veggies and herbs first. So maybe... I'm going to pop them into the fridge for now. Even though... still pretty cold. Maybe I actually do feel okay just leaving it there. Yeah, how do bears eat fish and not get a bone stuck in its gums? Okay, we got our parsley, lemon, shallot, some garlic, the biggest clove ever. Yeah, there are plenty of videos. One thing YouTube is great for is instructional videos. Or how they can stick a paw into a beehive and deal with all the bee stings. I know, yeah. Crazy, hey? Well, this garlic is almost as big as the one shallot, so that's a good size comparison right there. I have yet to see a bear here still. That's still something I really want to happen. Just so I can have that experience. And if it's a bad one, well then, that's life. That's nature, right? Okay, so smash this. I don't want to smash it too much, because I want to kind of keep it whole, and we're just going to slice it thin. So just smash it enough to be able to peel it off. Bears are misunderstood. Yeah, they just want to cuddle. They're pretty funny creatures. And same with our shallot here. Thanks, Jimmy. It's one of my favorite chef knives. It does need a little bit of work, though. I've been neglecting it a little bit, but I still love it. Okay, so since almost everyone is in here, might as well do our food for thought. So something that I was thinking about today is, do you guys think the supply and demand of the food industry has caused the food to be like prepared or grown or produced in like more of an unhealthy or unsustainable way? So pretty much what I'm getting at is, like, do you think that the growth of the population of the world has caused us to like stray from that organic food production, which obviously way back when, that's all they had. Okay, so we're just gonna do nice thin slices of this lemon, because I 100% think that is like, to be able to produce this much food for the world, you have to farm fish. You have to have those massive feedlots of cattle. But then you have to think, if that stuff didn't exist, what would actually happen? Like, would there be riots, or would people just kind of suck it up and have to actually buy food that is produced sustainably. Certainly true for poultry and swine. You had a black bear in front of your house once. You wanted to peruse your trimmings. Oh yeah, I mean our apple tree in the back here, anything that falls off we have to scoop up right away. Otherwise we'll get bears in our yards. And we're not allowed to leave any garbage outside at all. It all has to be in the house or in the garage. Because we will get bears in the area. It's been a thing. So we have to be very careful with that. If you've ever driven behind a semi-truck full of pigs, you might not want to eat pork ever again. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm from Alberta, so that was happening quite often wherever you would drive. We are turning a corner. I think so, but it's so slow. So we're just going to slice our shallot like this. Like, the people I work with at the farm, they are my age or younger than me. So that makes me really happy to see that people of younger generations actually do care and are trying to make a change. I honestly think it's sad to say, and I don't mean this to anyone in my chat, I think the problem is like part of the older generations is like this is just what they're used to, but they don't really realize the damage that's being done. Just gonna cut the end off of that garlic clove. It's huge, hey? We're just gonna try and slice it as thin as possible. This shallot's getting me though in the eyes. As a 69-year-old, yeah, you would take offense, Liz. I don't know, that's just my food for thought. Kind of get you guys thinking as well. And it's nice to hear other people's opinions. And if you don't agree, then by all means, feel free to state it. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I'll ban this person because they don't agree with what my opinion is. Yeah, unsub, undonate. It all stems from the end of World War II. It's when that thinking came into food production. Yeah, like how to make it faster and just make more all at one time. Oh my God, Liz. Yeah, the shower water. She's just wrinkled up now. Forever a prune. I don't know if we'll use all of this garlic. That's quite an excessive amount, but we'll just put that over here in our bowl of flavors. And thanks to the garlic, my hands are all sticky now. Yay! I'm just gonna rinse that off. Best part though is to just rub some lemon. And that way we won't have garlic fingers. I think the future of food is in GMOs and lab-grown meat. But would that really be better? It's like, I don't feel like I would trust that. If that actually ends up happening, I would probably just end up raising my own meat. And I would just have to suck it up and like kill it myself, right? We got a wild Sammy come in. So I think that's more than enough parsley, but we'll put a little bit in with the fish and with the vegetables. We could even do a little bit of basil in the veg. That could be good. How's the Sammy? Tired? Me too. I almost didn't stream, but I'm here. Do you see that lettuce? Yeah. Yeah, rubbing fingers in lemon gets rid of garlic smell. Lab grown meat. Yeah, what is it then? Is it really meat? Who knows? What if it's human? But I think, honestly, at this rate, people are so far away from their ingredients that, I don't know, that's fair to give them lab-grown meat. People don't want to see how the animal or even the vegetables are grown. They just want the meat. The problem is with the production of meats on a grand scale and companies who do GMO and shady business strategies. Yeah, 100%. So this parsley, all of these stems would be wonderful to use in our stock base yesterday. Too bad we didn't make it today. You're at work all by yourself, but you heard someone cough. Don't look behind you, Liz. Liz, cannibalism. Longer shelf life, faster, cheaper, needed for wartime, staying in life. Yeah. It all makes sense. But I'm not sure, like, for how smart humans are, how would we not realize the damage that we're doing? And, like, I'm not trying to, like, be a downer. I just want people to start thinking about that a little bit more. Because I know as a chef, I am definitely thinking about it. Okay, there's our parsley. So we got our garlic, shallot, lemon, and parsley all prepped up. Let's move on to these tomatoes. We'll have some, we will do 2 cups worth, I think. Food production on a mass level was very good. Think that food shortage isn't even a worry anymore. No. But we have such a surplus now that we can start to go smaller. 100% extinction. That's such a good way to put it. If you could buy lab-grown meat with the German food regulations being followed, you'd do it. Fair enough. Yeah, as long as there's regulations being followed and I don't know. Like, I would want to know what goes on in that lab. It's like, how is this meat actually grown? You live in Minnesota, so you have good access to local farms. Yeah, so do I, Jimmy. So I'm lucky in that sense. %, almost there, Optics. You can do it. Yeah, my issue is with the mega farms. That's good to hear, Steampunk. I don't know, like, is it more of a West Coast thing to, like, pay more attention to food? I don't think so. I think it's starting to happen everywhere. But not everyone feels that way, that's for sure. And with my mom's side of the family being mostly livestock farmers in Alberta, like, I've grown up with that kind of sense in me. It's like the only meat they eat is what they raise. But, like, whereas my dad's side of the family, they're a lot bigger. He has a really big family, lots of siblings, and they bought whatever was cheapest, right? Just so they could provide for the family. So I guess there are things that kind of hold people back that way as well. And that's probably part of the problem. It's like, oh, this is cheap, I'm going to buy this. Whereas, like, just because it's cheap, it doesn't mean it's good for you. Okay, that's a heaping 2 cups, but I feel good with that amount. Because, like I said, I do want leftovers. 2 words, Soylent Green. See, I've not looked much into the lab-grown meat thing, so I don't have a huge opinion on that yet. I'd rather have like an educated opinion than to just kind of say whatever I feel. Getting some water. I'm a little parched. It's a hot one out today again. Hot, hot. Okay, now we're gonna get into our squashes, which I think I should wash first. Education, yeah, 100%. That's a great way to look at it, Vune. Is being able to actually provide food for those countries that have struggled for so long. And that also bugs me. And I'm gonna grab our mandolin here. Vune, have you ever seen one of these ones? This is Sammy's German mandolin. Borner. It's called Borner. Okay, let me just wash up these squashes. I think we should do this one too. We're gonna do all of the squash. Patty pans, yeah, we have patty pan, these two. Obviously a couple of zucchinis, and then these are called crook neck. Yeah, you know that. It's called a finger slicer. Oh, Sam and I were watching a YouTube video yesterday. Someone was using a mandolin and they were using their palm to slide their vegetable across. I was like, imagine if it slipped out. Like, there goes your whole palm. And we both just like shut off the YouTube because it grossed us out. So bad. I did have a special glove. I don't know if it's still kicking around though. Yeah, palm reading. Vune, you can tell my fortune? Do it up. So we're gonna make thin little rounds of our squash. Imagine on a live stream. Oh, someone doing that. So gory. I can't even imagine it. It's terrifying. Let's start with the patty pans because those are the most fun. Just get in the bowl. The bowl. You can actually read palms. That is cool. 100% accurate. Yeah, only $1,000. Only. Yeah, you will die. So just taking off the stem here. Yeah, Twitch fails star. Not what I'm going for. And then just our little bottom, the squash butt. This one's a little bit deeper, which sucks, but what is in here? That is the question. Oh, word up. I was just thinking about that view and I was like, it just got a little bit quiet. Okay guys, so I'm adding 2 new mods to the channel today. One of them was Rush's wife because she's typically up with the baby at this time, whereas Rush likes to go to bed. So that is fair. And I'm going to add Vune because he asked one time before, I guess, and I missed it. And I had a couple of my mods not really come in lately, so I feel like it's always good to at least have someone around. So welcome in, Vune. Don't worry, you can still be your crazy self. Please don't ever change. Okay, we're just digging into this squash. Just trying to see where this hole went, but luckily there's like no bug or anything down there, so I think we're good. Oh, you're good, Death. I know you guys are still here. I know you're here. It's fine. Totally fine if you want to do other stuff. I mean, chat is pretty chill. Okay, so this thing here is we just push on the side and we pull back to adjust the thickness. It's always good to kind of test run the first few. I think I want it just a little bit more thin. Maybe that. Now let's go for it. So that's gonna cook up pretty quick, I think. But we will be kind of piling it on top of itself, so it will be thick in the parchment paper. I think I'm good with that. Let's do it. Let's get the safety out. I don't know if it'll really stick on this thing, but I know it'll just be easier. Yeah, responsibility. You better sing. I think this looks so great. I don't think I've ever cooked squash this way either. I don't know if we'll be able to push this one through. Yeah. Use the plastic thing instead of your fingers. Success. Yeah, we're just diversifying the countries. Exactly. Great way to think about it. Yeah, just put dark in the dark. No worries. Yeah, steampunk, still the #1 troll. I don't know, Skip and steampunk, troublemakers. I love this yellow squash too. I've grown this type before. It's very, very hardy. And as you can see, there's not really seeds in it, which makes it really nice to eat. And you don't get any waste. Like, you're not peeling it, you're not scooping anything out. You just get what you're looking at. So let's go into these little guys. I don't know how that's going to slice up. Your favorite squash is butternut. Yeah, I still really love butternut too. Yeah, best soup ever. I think since this is so small, we'll make it just a little bit thicker. Make it thick. Yeah, who, you? Is you talking to me? Thanks for using the guard. No problem, guys. This one was just a little bit too awkward to use the guard at first. I hope you can understand my risk. The risk factor. Matt, how are you, man? It's a summer squash, yeah. So the other one I cut up, that's called a patty pan. This is called a crookneck. And then obviously we just have zucchini. We have a zucchini. Yeah, mandolins are great if you want something sliced consistently. Definitely not like a cop-out. I think they're great to have in any kitchen. Bard just called you a fat banana. What? Okay, there's those two. I don't know if we'll need this larger crook neck, so I might not slice it. I want to do the zucchinis first. Mandolins. Like the aliens. Oh, sorry for the squeak. That was terrible. Terrible. You hated zucchini for the longest time. I feel like everyone just overcooks it, and then it's mush and not good at all. Okay, let's turn this back up. Like that guy. A little bit of middle ground here. I don't know why it keeps catching there. It's making me upset though. I'm good with that thickness. Your parents used to make pizza out of it with shredded zucchini instead of crust? What? That is insanity. That does not sound good at all. See, that makes sense, is you just had so much zucchini that it's like, put it in everything. And would they grow it really big too? You think I can cut through mice? I've actually never killed a mouse. I've never tried that whole cauliflower pizza crust thing. Is it good? Is it a thing? Should I try it? Your aunt and uncle served it to you guys. A visit to them 4 times in 2 days? Why? Why do people do this? So I'm holding on to the zucchini butt instead of slicing my fingers, just so you guys know. I'm wild. Matt, it's not good. Despacito. What not to use the mandolin for? You would go every 2 weeks to weed the garden, 20 miles from your house. Oh, that was a trek then. In Alberta, Betty and I took care of a garden plot together that was actually on a military base. And it was like a good half-an-hour drive from the house. So it was always an adventure going out there. But it definitely taught me a lot. And I think that's when I really started to get into gardening. You found out they were having a rough time financially. Aw, see, fair enough. Yeah, Matt's gone wild today. We're bugging Matt. Only because Nike beat you here. The tables have turned. Don't you guys even think about start fighting like an old married couple, though. You leave in 10 minutes. Okay, there's our bowl of zooks. I think we're good with that. Dad's going home. It's always a good idea to rinse the mandolin off right away. Because the veggie juices like to make it all weird and sticky. And then it just gets hard to clean. Then you have to smoke and get drunk and then bed. You have a day ahead of yourself. Mowing the lawn and getting drunk. Doing the laundry drunk. Yeah, you got a busy night ahead of you. Nice. Best part about an apartment, hey Nike? No lawn mowing. Okay, so let's catch up on our list here. We butchered the fish, shaved the squash, halved the tomatoes, sliced the garlic and shallot, picked the parsley, sliced our lemon. All we have to do is make our papillote and boil potatoes and chop dill. That's it, guys. Easy peasy. I told you this dinner was pretty effortless. What do we want to do first? Do we want to make the vegetable papillote? I think so. So we need a couple sheet pans. And some parchment paper. Did you pick the pickled peppers? I have not done that yet. You tried pickled snap peas today. I have never heard of that before. And then for our papillote, so we need a bottom layer and enough to fold over the top and then roll it up. So maybe always use more than you think you need. So why don't we just pull a little bit more than this sheet pan? Is your name Peter? Sorry for the loud noises, but it had to happen. So now kind of pick that halfway point, or you could even pre-fold it. Like so. Using the lemon on the mandolin would have made cleaning a little easier. But lemon's a little bit difficult to mandolin, and I did get some in my cut. It's not feeling the best. Kirkland parchment paper, the best. Peter Piper. Parchment paper is called baking paper. Huh. Now we know. Why did the parchment paper drink so much water? In Mother Russia, parchment paper bakes you. Oh my goodness. Some days you guys are too much, and I love it. Yeah, I'm sure you were confused, Bune. You're like, what are you talking about? It's baking paper. I don't know if we'll even fit all of this. I'm gonna pile it high. We still need the tomatoes in here. But maybe, I think I got too excited. Let's take some off, just so we can like evenly season it. Let's build this in layers, kind of like nachos, but we're using vegetables. I know, weird. Weird, right? But it's gotta happen. Get our olive oil out. Salt and pepper. Yeah, sugar daddy, an airplane ticket, and a green card. Let's do it. Get view into North America. A little bit of salt. Ask for nut juice without laughing. Oh man, we're back on the nut juice again. Grabbing our basil as well. The basil. Twins basil. Bye, Matt. You won't be coming back, I'm guessing, because you have a lot of things to do while you're drunk. So have a good one, man. And hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Yeah, can we ever really be off the nut juice? We're gonna put some garlic and shallot in here too, I think. Kind of mimic the flavors of the fish a little bit. Yeah. Can you ban Elvin when he does a bad pun? I don't think so. Because isn't every pun bad in its own way? A few slices of garlic. Sometimes I really like to leave garlic whole in these sliced forms. Get a good bite of it. Yeah, limited joke supply. Come on, guys. Don't need too much shallots. Okay. Maybe a touch more salt just for the tomatoes. And then we'll do our next layer. How does that look, guys? Lemon pepper on roasted veg. See, that would actually be good here. Dark doesn't have bad puns. He's just bad people. Maybe we'll switch to our big patty pans. Those big uns. Totally layering it with the colors. Because why not? We might have sliced too much squash though. Lullaboo, thanks for the host again. That is much appreciated. This is 3 times already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, she doesn't raid, she just hosts. So thanks guys, welcome in. Whoever decides to come in from Lullaboo's stream. Oh man, Matt, sun-dried cherry tomatoes, my favorite thing. Even if you roast them in the oven at a low temp, kind of the same thing. Okay, that looks good. Cookie, I am well. How are you? I was pretty tired earlier after the farm, after I ate some lunch, but I'm glad I decided to stream today. Wouldn't have been the same. I would have just been prepping this stuff all by myself. How are you, Cookie? That, some more basil, and I think maybe just a touch of parsley too. Should this be my final layer? Or do we do one more? Oh, I guess we forgot the tomatoes on here too, hey? Hey, chef, how are you, man? You canned garlic dills today. Nice, Cookie. We did a lot of shit at the farm. I was very tired. But it's worth it because I get to take home awesome veg to cook with. Milla squash, yeah, 1,000 layers. Sunkissed, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, send the jar of pickles. Chef, thanks for the host, man. How did your stream go? What did I see? I just saw your title from when I was in Discord. Were you making beef consomme? And thanks for the biddies, too. This is much appreciated. Feeling the love from my fellow Canadian. Okay, guys, I think I'm good with that. I don't know how it's gonna cook, or if we can even fit another layer. So I think we have to wrap this up. So that's it. If I feel it's not enough, we can just like saute this up if we want. How did the consomme turn out then? It's always a fun task to do. Did you get it nice and clear? Okay, so we're going in. I want to make sure that we'll be able to fit this, and I think we're good. So start at your corner. Just have to adjust that for a sec. And just fold it in. So you're creating your seal there, right? And all we're going to do is keep folding. And some people actually just roll it as well. I might have to resort to that since I feel like I'm going to run out of space. And that's why I said always make your paper larger than you think you need. You did it. Turned out great. That's awesome, dude. Did you serve it up as like a consomme, like a soup? Or are you going to use it for something else? I'll try and show you guys the crimped way for the fish. It'll be a little bit more fancy. French serve, nice. I haven't seen that done in so long. What kind of inspired you to make that? Okay, so there is our vegetables and papillote. Yeah, show those good rolling skills. Definitely not the best, but it'll do. It'll do, donkey. It'll do. So now that, we will just put it on our stovetop. Now, obviously, we'll do the fish one at a time. So more parchment. And let us see. Can we do it this way? I don't think so. So we'll have to do it this way. And then I'll fold it lengthwise. Baking paper. Yeah, grab your baking paper. And now I'm just gonna grab the fish, transfer it over. And it's nice because these are very similar in size. So we know that they're gonna cook up at the same amount of time. Which my guess would be around 20 minutes. At 375 Fahrenheit. Das ist Backpapier. Backpapier. I probably botched that view. Don't hate me forever. Okay, now I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of wine in here first. And then we'll season it and stuff it. Trivia chat. Yeah, what's the other name for steelhead trout? They should know this. You don't need too much wine. So you don't want it to get too watery in here either, but just kind of let it soak in to that inside of the fillet. Elvin, you would. Yeah, it's called dinner. And welcome to my chat. We like to be sarcastic. Now, our salt. Don't be too generous with your salt here. I know it's a little bit harder to control your salt levels when you're cooking a whole fish. And I would rather bump it up afterwards when you serve it than have it too salty and then ruin it. So I'll put a little bit of salt in there. Maybe just a touch on the skin. I don't know if that's really gonna do much, but maybe we'll get salt from both the inside and the outside. And now, oh my God, guys, you know what we didn't do in our vegetables? The olives. So maybe I will just quickly saute that up with the olives. I can't not have the olives. Maple syrup trout. Okay, so first thing, do I want to do the lemon? I don't like to put lemon right on the fish flesh because it actually will cook it. Fish is so delicate that this little bit of lemon will actually start to cook it. Let's not do that first. Let's do our garlic. Just our slices. You don't need too much. It's pretty potent. But it does stick nicely to the top side as well. And do some shallot. I'm not gonna go heavy on that. I think only those 3 pieces. And then into the parsley. And then we'll kind of wedge the lemon in between the parsley leaves, so it doesn't actually touch the fish flesh. So something like that, and then we'll just put our lemon in there. And that way it won't really cook it. Just get that aroma. Put our smaller piece of lemon on the tail end where it's thinner. And that, I think, looks great. Skip, you have heard of that fable land. Okay, so now fold our papier over. I also like this because you can see through. I don't know why you would do papillote with foil. That just seems odd to me. Okay, now I will try and do the really nice folds, but we'll see how it goes. So fold your corner. And just keep doing folds like that. And then you'll obviously notice that it's gonna start to curve. Go past the delicious food. Yeah, the baguettes and the croissants. And then when the food gets worse, you're probably approaching Bean's land. Yeah, just slap a stamp on it and you're good to go. So this is definitely not the best folding. Because look, it's coming apart. You don't want the steam to escape. I'm not good at everything, guys. And that's a fact. But as long as we try, that's all that matters. Maybe I'm going to fold this piece underneath. Maybe the other side too. But keep in mind, this is traditionally served table side, so that's why it's typically always folded really nice. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Phew. Let's see if you can see that side. And on to the next one. Yeah, when the food gets worst. That was such a good one, Skip. I'm so proud of you right now. And the good thing about this is that our potatoes are going to boil pretty much as the same amount of time as our fish and vegetables bake in the oven. So, first things first, what do? Put our wine in. That wine. The answer is kokanee. I have never heard that, chef. I've honestly never heard it called that. That is new for me. You're going to the beach. Which beach are you going to? Unless you don't want to say, because stalkers. Okay, our wine has been dispersed. Onto the salt. So season both sides. But I guess I'm not from BC, so maybe I'm just not up on all the lingo. Okay, what was next? We started with our garlic and shallots. How do I turn it this way? Actually open it up for you guys. I must have a cut on one of my fingers. It burns so good. There we go. And the rest of the parsley. And our lemon. This is Savage, Albus? No, not even. Savage was earlier when I cut its head off and made it talk. This is nothing compared to earlier in the stream. Just giving the people what they want. Okay, so once again, we'll fold this over. You want both edges to meet up. Try and fold this one a little bit better. I think I treated this fish with a lot of, maybe not respect, but I am cooking it right. There was no dignity for this fish. Wow, Albus. You gotta be like that. Yeah, the fish will live on forever. Exactly. And this fish made it onto Twitch. I'd be pretty pumped if I was this fish. We had some good times together, them and I mean, there's two of them and one of me, so is it really fair? I don't think so. And that is it. I don't like this way that I folded it. I'd rather tuck it under. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was, Albus. Pretty much what we were dealing with earlier. Fish looked a lot like that. Okay. 2 trouts and papillote. We did pretty good with our ingredients. All the parsley's gone. Just a little bit of shallot. We don't want it too oniony. And then if we want, we still have some lemon slices to plate with after. We did good, guys. There are all of the papillotes. Okay, I'm just gonna go take my bathroom break and then we will come back and finish the rest of Din Din. I think it's been good so far, guys. The silence. It's so quiet, hey? Silencio. Muffin Moore. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Okay, we made our papillotes. So next up, let's prep our potatoes. We need to check the size of them. Because some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. It happens. I'm gonna put the basil and the parsley away before they start to wilt. Do a little mini cleanup. And I'll grab the dill. for the potatoes, we'll chop it up. Okay, let's see what we're working with. So this is the older bag. New German butter potatoes. That's all that was in that bag. So, I guess I should have checked when I was at the farm. This bag, really, really small potatoes. So what do we feel? Do we feel like making really small potatoes? Or we have bigger ones in the other bag? But I think I would like to serve them whole, if possible. Let's do it. What are we inspecting? What is going on? I missed something. Are potatoes called kartoffeln? Holy, potato rolled all the way over to the fridge. Oh, I got Sam's mom to teach me what squirrel was in German. I don't know if I can remember it though. Eichenhorn? Eichenhorn? I forget. I can't say it that well though. Eichhornchen? Eichhornchen. It's so weird. Eichhornchen. Yeah, German language. Crazy. Okay, these definitely need a wash. I don't even know if these were washed when they were put out onto the farm stand. Tisk tisk. And we might actually have to boil these in like a couple different stages. You can see the size difference here. We don't want our little guys to go mushy on us before the bigger ones are cooked. I'm gonna kind of separate them. I think that looks fair. Probably do it like that. We have those ones, these ones, and then these bigger ones. Maybe it's too much. I don't know. But I am okay with leftover potatoes. You're just very efficient. Lacking imagination, but efficient nonetheless. I need the colander. It's in the dishwasher. It's okay. It is okay. I am just going over to the sink to wash up these potatoes. And I think in the meantime, let's turn our oven on to preheat because we're coming up on 5 o'clock. So 375. I think that's going to be a good temp. So it's not like we can really get color onto the stuff in the parchment paper because it's steaming. So the small ones will go into the bottom of the bowl. And we'll do it in order so that the bigger ones get cooked first. And we'll just kind of throw these in as time goes on. Easy peasy. It's going well so far, Rook. I think we are still on for our timings. As you can see, the stuff on the stove has been processed and we just have to bake it now. And lastly, we just need to boil up some potatoes. And we are good to go. Big Irish Red, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. How are you, Rook? Sammy? That's it, you're done for the day?
Yeah.
The boots are coming off.
Boots are off.
5 o'clock. Okay, next round of potatoes done. You're a bit stressed, just got off the phone with work, not going to be around for 3 months. Where are you going? Or what are you doing? What? Might have to try making some whipped cream today then. Okie dokes. Guys, look what came in. Stainless steel tips that will hopefully fit onto our whipping siphon canister. Since we didn't have any before. I couldn't find any from the brand that we have. Like, there's nothing online. So hopefully it'll fit. Shall we try it right now? So it's got to fit onto this thing. And the brand that the tips are is called ISI. This is called Mosa, though. You thought they were bullets. Yeah, we're making foam. So we ordered these off Amazon. Hopefully it will work. I love this up here. For professionals. No one else. Just professionals. Sorry, guys. I hate this plastic. It's so hard to get into. And it's sharp, too. Ooh, yeah, she ain't gonna fit. Okay, best part about Amazon. Be returning that ish. Dang it. Yeah, disqualified. That reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode. Let me see. See, I thought Sammy said Bosa. I was like, what's the brand? He's like, Bosa. Thought he said Bosa, but I guess there is Mosa. It's my own fault, but hopefully I can find some. I am sad. It's called Mosa. M-O-S-A. We got it from a restaurant wholesaler here. Or in Vancouver, sorry. So we should be able to find it somewhere in Canada. Keep cutting off my head. Okay, so into our pot here for the potatoes, I'm putting the biggest ones first with cold water. Then we'll let that go. Bring it up for probably 7 minutes. Like, we're not going to bring it up to a boil and then throw the other ones in. So maybe I'll do a 7-minute timer, put the larger ones in again, do maybe another 3 minutes, and then put all the really small ones in. And what is the thing actually called? It's called a siphon. My foam makey thingamajigbob. Greatest sentence ever. Thingamabob. That's it. That's the most precise term you got. But we also want to put enough water in our pot to cover all the potatoes as well. So this is going to be a tricky one. But I'm only doing this because I don't want to cut them at all. So I'm making more work for myself. I filled the pot. I pilled the pot half full. And our oven just went off. I think maybe we should put the fish in and the veg because the potatoes will cook in 20 minutes. How's our lighting? Still good, hey? Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna put the fish in on the top rack. The veg underneath. And maybe we'll do a 10-minute timer just to be sure. That's around halfway. We really don't want to overcook it. And for our potato pot, we also want a nice heaping spoonful of salt to season them as they cook. If you're never sure how much salt to put into your water, it should taste like the sea. Make it taste like the ocean. Optrix, you're back. He's back. So while that is heating up / baking, let's get into our little bit of potato garnish. So we got some dill. My dill plant outside has pretty much gone all to seed. So I had to break down and buy some because there's actually no dill growing at the farm. It kind of makes me sad. But this is grown in BC, so I'm okay with that. Had to get the update from your buddy. Nice. This smells really good and fresh. Anyone else love dill potatoes as much as I do? Oh shit, and we still have to make the caper brown butter. Let me write that on the list. Because that's our garnish for the whole dish. A mutual friend is an alcoholic and has been showing up to work late and sometimes is drunk on the job. The worst. I always get sad when people are like that. It's only a matter of time before he gets fired. I've seen that happen a lot in this industry.
What?
People get fired because they're drunk and they don't take their jobs seriously anymore.
Yeah. You can't fire somebody that's drunk though.
You can't fire someone that's drunk.
No, you can't accuse them for being drunk.
Why?
It's legal.
It's legal?
It's illegal. It's true. I got the shit for firing Bill. Like that.
Weird. Yeah, Sammy had to fire someone that was drunk all the time.
And Sarah.
Sarah? Who's Sarah?
Redheaded server.
Oh god, that's right. Yeah, server just shows up absolutely plastered, slurring her words. Like, you need to go home. Yeah, showing up late is the worst. Yeah. Yeah, usually drunk and late go hand in hand because they literally just don't care anymore. Okay, the dill is pretty finely chopped. How can you show up drunk to work? I have no idea. I would be so paranoid. I could never do that. Yeah, I don't get it either. But that's a problem, right? Like, I think that's like one of the worst habits to try to kick is like being an alcoholic. That is something really hard to get over, especially if you don't have the right support. And no help is going to change that person. They have to do that on their own. And that's with like any sort of addiction. Like, I always find it's worse if you tell someone to smarten up. Because then they'll, like, deliberately not. And be like, they can't tell me what to do. I can do what I want. Yeah, you're having a beer, but not working. So is it weird if I crack a beer, though? Because then that's hypocritical. Because I'm, I guess, working. I guess I don't really get a wage, though. Pretty much work off of tips. You had a building meeting. No problem, Nike. Welcome back. Alvin, what is going on with you? All is well or not? You seem sad today, or just stressed. Stuart, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. You're also having a beer, but you're done for the day. There you go. Like, a beer, you shouldn't rely on alcohol or drugs to get you through the day. If anything, that should be, like, something special that you can enjoy after. And hopefully not by yourself.
I drink a 2-6 a day to skip by.
Sam.
I'm about to deal with Caitlin all the time.
Oh, you noted in Discord. Okay, Alvin. I will catch up afterwards then. Sorry, I did not see that earlier. Hello, Mike. How's it going? Welcome in. Okay, so caper brown butter. Very, very easy. What ingredients do we need? Capers and butter. Yeah, he drinks a 2-6 a day just to get by. It's not something to laugh about, though. Some people actually struggle a lot with that. Yeah, if I'm considered to be working on stream, am I not my own boss?
Yeah, you are.
Then I can do my own shit.
Yeah.
Okay. We're good then.
That's why you drink on Thursday while you're working.
Yeah. The thirst. It's getting us. Okay, just getting our capers and butter. This is a really easy one. Okay, 10 minutes already went by on our stuff in the oven. Tuned up Tuesday. I think this amount of butter will probably be perfect. And that is around half a cup, I would say. Into our little sauce pot. Put this over here. We'll just start to melt it. You can do that on a medium heat. You don't just have to blast it on high. A lot of people take their brown butter too far and they make it too dark. So let's be aware today and not do that. We're not making a beurre noisette. Or yes, we are making a beurre noisette. We are not making a beurre noir. It's nap time for the 15-year-olds. Yeah, gotta get that Fortnite strength. And here are our capers. That's how they come. And these are the buds that are picked off of nasturtium plants before they flower, and then they're pickled in a brine to preserve them. And they're quite nice with seafood. Yeah, good night for Sammy. Last call. The buds, yeah. At least I'm quite sure that's what it is. That's what I've always been told. And that is why they make Google. How are capers made? Capers are pickled floured buds. Yes. It's adult time. Time to roll one up and watch Tom and Jerry. Epic. I love that. Okay, our water is almost boiling. And our 10-minute timer is about to go off for our oven. So I'm going to put in the larger size potatoes now, which is only a couple. And then we just have these little ones left, which those will probably take 3 minutes to cook. I don't know, let's check our fish, see if anything's happening. I hear a little bit of sizzle action. They're still pretty soft to the touch though. So I'll do another 5 and then we'll check it. Getting there, guys. And I think I still want to just saute up our remaining squash tomatoes. And that way I can put the olives in, because that's a necessity here today. Really wanted to use those. It wouldn't be Provencal style without it. Saturday cartoons in the 90s. So good. Optrix. At least she admitted it. With pig's blood, though. And she took it there. Yeah, Sammy was inspired by Samurai Pizza Cats. I need to have an olive snack. Elvin, have you had the Moroccan sun-dried olives, the black shriveled ones? They're so good. And so salty and delicious. Yeah, she must have been pissed. Lemon, I am so happy that you are here as well. I love when you pop in. How have you been? Have you gone away already? You like League? League of Legends is salty and delicious. I think we'll just use this small frying pan here for to splash a little bit of olive oil. Keeping it simple. That's where I'll use up my other piece of shallot as well. But no more garlic. That's enough for garlic today. And our butter is half-ish melted. It's getting there. I'm just gonna chop up this shallot though, a little bit more fine. You're doing a lazy day. You bought a frozen pizza. Sam and I did that the other day.
Not lazy day. How was your date day?
Or sorry, the week before. Or on Canada Day. Okay, that was like 2 weeks ago then.
Yeah.
I can't even keep track of time.
It's actually 16 days ago.
You heard it here first. And some frozen pizza is actually better than some delivery pizza. So there's that, I guess. Okay. Butter's going nuts. I'm gonna put some capers in there now. They might pop a little bit, just because we're adding that little bit of liquid into hot fat. But I like when they get just a touch toasted. Maybe I'll wait just a little bit more till it gets a little bit darker. So for the meantime, I'm gonna turn on the light for us since the sun's going down. And you can see our potatoes are now boiling. So I'm gonna put these guys in. And that's it. And butter likes to get a little bit foamy on top when you melt it. That's the dairy cooking out of it. So if you can't really see what's going on, just give it a swirl. And you should be good. That's our fish again. So like I said, it's a little bit hard to tell when this is fully cooked because you don't want to open it up. But I think we're getting really close. That was 15 minutes. I really don't want to do this, but I think I have to. Okay, the inside is still a little bit raw. So I may even just shut the oven off and let it carry over cooking, if you guys know what I mean. You were excited about baking something for someone until they said I'm dairy free. I feel the same way every time. It's like, I don't want to bake for you then. If I can't use butter, I'm not doing it. They could tell your smile went away. Maybe I'll just actually let those sit here for just a couple minutes. So I don't think the veg cooked in this 15 minutes of time. But we definitely don't want to overcook our fish. You've always wanted to bake in parchment, but worry about fire. You just don't go too high of a heat. Keep it under 400 Fahrenheit and you're good. Yes, Elvin. Best way to get over that. Okay, we're getting there on our butter. See how it's kind of starting to foam? We know we're getting close when it starts to do that. So I like to just keep swirling it. And the way that I like to tell is obviously it will turn a little bit darker, but it starts to smell really nutty. Maybe a minute or two more. You definitely don't want to leave that on the hot burner because it will just burn. It will literally burn. And then that's not what you want. So let's just take a little look-see. So yes, it is like completely foamed on top, but you can see underneath, all of the dairy solids have kind of gotten toasty, right? So those have cooked out. We're actually on our way to making clarified butter. And this foam, it will go away. I'm gonna put the capers in now so they can kind of get married with the butter. Hopefully it doesn't splash too much. And then we'll check our potatoes. A little bit of caper frying action in butter. Not opposed to that. And dang, the smell just intensified so much. If you were to drain it in cheesecloth, would it be considered dairy-free? Yeah. I mean, it would pretty much be there. That's all. That's like the only way I make my clarified butter is just literally boil the crap out of it until you see your dairy starting to stick on the bottom of the pot. And then you don't even really need to strain it. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna put it on the other side of the stove, not on the hot burner. Or you know what? I can probably just leave it here. Really cooled off enough. Just leave that on the side. Vegans would argue with that, 100%. And our trout, I'm gonna turn the oven off now. The veg should be done. Put the trout in to finish up. And then we'll just quickly saute that veg with the olives. So we'll turn our pan on and then I'm just gonna poke a potato to see how close they are to being done. Yeah, it's still cooked in an animal product. Don't even get us started. Crazy vegans. Potatoes have a couple minutes to go still. So I think everything's timing out really well. So the first thing I'm gonna do for our veg is just quickly saute the shallot, and then I'll throw in the squash, and then the tomato, and then the olives at the end. Okay, so you can see here on our brown butter, as it cools off, the foam goes away. And you'll just get that nice clear liquid. And it smells so good with the capers in there. It's gonna cut that richness. What's up, Sammy? Sammy's Homer drooling over there. He's like, oh. Browned butter in cookies, so good. It's underrated. I feel like anything browned butter is better than just plain. Except maybe on bread. But I don't think I've ever had cold... Actually, I have. I have had cold brown butter on bread, and it's unreal. It's just so nutty. A little fly just like flew into my face. You can actually reduce the sugar in cookies if you brown the butter. That's cool. Yeah, I like free dairy food. Here's an ice cream, yes. Is it dairy free or is it free dairy?
I like free dairy.
Yeah. Because of the nuttiness, it lends the sweetness. Now I really want to make some brown butter cookies. Yeah, how is this stove element purple? Doesn't make sense to me. So weird. Okay, I think our pan is warm. In go the shallots. Oh man, it's only 5:30. I'm crushing this. And we started at 3. I don't really want too much color on the shallot either. Quick little saute. Like so. In go our squash. If I planned on sauteing this, I would have cut the squash into cubes. But hey, we got slices, so we're gonna make do with what we have. Listen to that sizzle. Just gonna cut down these bigger pieces, just a little bit smaller. It's purple on your stream too. Yeah, people keep asking, how do you get the stove with the purple element? Gotta be cool like Bune and Kate. Am I feeding everyone? Yeah, we're feeding everybody. No such shallot of color. It's still got browns though. That's how fast it cooks. Woo! I love that sound. And the dishes are very minimal with this dinner as well. So I am okay with that. Okay, one more poke on the potatoes. So the way I know it's done is the paring knife will go through it really easily. And I always check the biggest one, because those always take the longest, right? Right.
The Flavor Bible. Dark Elvin. He asked me what my mentor always made me go look at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this one.
The Flavor Bible. They've also done a vegetarian version of that book. We have it at work.
Oh, really?
Do I make Sammy do the dishes? I don't make him do them, but he does offer and helps me out. He's a good Sammy. I typically like to cook summer squash hot and fast so that you get that little bit of color on the outside, but it stays tender, but a little bit of bite still on the inside. And that way it doesn't go too mushy. Yeah, bad Sammys are the worst. The knife is purple for the visually impaired. That was a good one. I'm gonna put the tomatoes in. And we can probably strain the potatoes after this. And we'll put the olives in too. Give it a little stir. And since we have olives in the mix, we need to keep our salt levels to a minimum. So I'm just going to do pepper to start, and then we'll have a taste. Yeah, they are squashes from the farm. I'm glad you noticed, Lemon. When you put ketchup on your BLT? The heck? I'm just going to turn that off. Let it finish cooking over here. It's potato time. And I think the trout is going to come out onto the board. Oh, see, I smelled the basil from the vegetables as soon as I opened the oven. So I know that those are cooked. If we want, we can put a little bit of the brown butter in there just so we can dress the potatoes with the dill. Ketchup gives it that oomph. You guys are crazy. I don't need a lot of it either. Just a little drizz. We'll save the rest for the fish. So dill going in. Give those a little stir. And then our pepper. I'll put some pepper on the potatoes too. But they shouldn't need too much salt, maybe just a touch. But we did salt the water that they cooked in. Okay, guys. We ready to see what we have made? Salt levels to a minimum. Yeah, don't play Fortnite then. Oh man, it smells good in here. Yay, lemon. I'm glad you agree. Browned butter pecan pie. Okay, I'll do it. Dear trout, treat us well and be cooked perfectly. So we should be able to literally peel the skin off like this. And that's a great indication of it being perfectly cooked. Just magical. I think we did good, guys. Literally just peel it off of the fillet. I wish I could hold this up for you, but I don't know if it's really possible. It just looks so good. It's just shiny. That sheen. I can't even get over it. This needs photo evidence. Hopefully it looks better on your guys' screen. And now what we want to do is hopefully just pry it off of those belly bones. This is the more difficult part. But if you get some bones in there, totally okay. I mean, that's the thing with whole fish, right? And like I said, this is quite a bit more difficult to do. And if not, see this natural line down the middle here? Is you could just cut down that, just make like little kind of fish fingers even to serve. Yeah, it is cooked perfectly. Even Betty would eat it, and she likes more well-done fish. So just go along here. And there is a layer of bones that you can just follow. I just did that with the paring knife. You can separate that. Just be really delicate with it. Okay, great. So you can see all those bones popping off. And obviously the center is a little bit more underdone, which I would totally eat. It's perfect medium. Let's just take a little piece here. Give a piece to Sammy. I'll try one myself and just see how our salt levels are. It's so flaky though. Texture though. You missed the skinning. Yeah, no. But for this, we want something a little bit more delicate. So I'm just gonna grind some salt on. And then you can just repeat this step for the other side. I'm not going to do it on stream tonight because I don't want this to get cold. And that is all we need. So I'm just going to move this over and start the plate up. Oh, I guess we should look at our veg papillote too, hey? Move on over to fish. This one smells unreal. Presentation table side for my peeps. Look at that steam. Ho ho! Are they done? Yeah, they are tender. So what we did, we just layered summer squash with tomatoes, olive oil, salt and pepper, and basil, parsley, shallot, and garlic. Let's just have a little tasty taste. I'll take this little end piece. It's almost too soft for me. So I'm glad I did saute up that other stuff. It is so flavorful though, I will say that. So I'll just take a little bit of each veg and we should be good. Thanks guys for all the love. First things first on the plate though is potatoes. I'm gonna go with the baby ones. Something like that is probably great. I'm gonna do the papillote veg underneath and I'll put the saute stuff on top because we want the olives for presentation. Ketchup! Where's the ketchup? There are 2 different kinds of olives, so just get a good mix of each. Close that back up so it stays warm. Coming over. Just gonna cut couple smaller portions of this, I think. If I can even cut through it. It's quite tender. Just gonna put little pieces of it around the plate. This is the hardest thing for me usually when I do whole fish cookery is how to plate it because it doesn't cut really nicely like a fillet would ahead of time. You kind of just need to break it apart. But you can just see how nice and flaky this is. Yeah, it's a great summer dish. I've been feeling like making some nice fresh stuff. Lemon. It's been really hot here lately. Okay, that looks so good. Maybe I'll just put a touch of pepper over that. Thanks, Sammy. I can't get over this fish, guys. It's so tender. Is it the kind of fish someone would cut at the table? Yeah, typically papillote is presented at the table. I would feel so awkward. I'd be like, here's your torn up fish fillet. That's the only part that I don't like. But how the fish is cooked, unreal. Like, this is the most tender trout I've ever had. If we want to be picky, let's put a freaking lemon slice under there. Why not? It'll contrast the fish nicely. And lastly, caper brown butter, a little bit of capers, a little bit of butter. We're just gonna do that over the fish. Kind of glaze it almost. my plating, guys. Provencal, steelhead trout, and papillote with dilly potatoes and summer veg. You would pay for that. Yay! I mean, that's all I can really ask for. Okay, you know what time it is. Photo time, and then we'll taste everything together, which is important. And then we'll go rate someone. Thanks. Honestly, yeah, I could totally see you crushing this. Someone in chat paid $5 for it. Did I miss a tip? I might have missed a tip when I got carried away cooking.
Oh man. She's fired.
Yeah, fire Kate. Thanks for the love, guys. Okay, let me catch up. Liz, was it you? I wasn't given a name. Tipped $5. Thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Whoever you are, know that you are appreciated. Okay, bye, Lemon. Thanks for popping in. It's always great seeing you. And I hope you are well. Yay, you'll be back Thursday. Okay, first things first. Let's get into this baby potato. How could you not? I'm gonna use some of this little sauce here. Perfectly done. And it's just nice and potatoey. Like, that's all I was really looking for. Is when potatoes are new like this in the season, you don't really need to dress them up with heavy cream or anything. And I like potatoes with dill all the time. And plus, dill and potatoes with fish, also a really good combo if you guys have never done it. A little bit of fish here now that we have our caper brown butter on it. That touch of nuttiness literally makes it. Okay, let's try some of our veg. I'll get a squash, tomato, and an olive. Just be careful if your olives have pits that you don't bite down on it. The sliced garlic and shallot is perfect because it's not so spread out everywhere that that's all you taste. You just get like that little hint of flavor. And I liked that happens typically when you steam food. Is when you saute it or brown it in a pan, it always gets stronger in flavor because it kind of reduces, right? You're cooking the water out to make it crispy. Whereas steaming it just like gives that nice pure flavor of whatever you want. I know some people think steaming is like, oh, that's very bland, but I think it just lets the ingredients speak for itself even more. And finishing with the warm olive. So good. Kind of just like gets your palate ready. Because the potato, it's not overly salted. It's not overly dressed. So to pair that potato is like kind of palate cleansing. I think I did good today, guys. I'm proud of that. I'm happy I streamed with you. Let it be known. Viyun, it wasn't you. Good to know, man. Okay, I'm just opening up Belly, seeing if we have any other cooking streamers on to go raid, of course. Oh, what happened to Belly? My belly is not working. Everyone else's belly? Are they maybe fixing something on it? Potatoes are awesome pretty much any way you cook them. Yeah, I'll even eat them boiled in salt water. Exactly. Tig girl. Kate. We're going into Tig. Let's do it. So down. And hopefully I'll get to actually meet Tig in person at the end of August. Belly got divided into food and coding. Okay, I was like, this is new. That's cool that they branched out. Okay, we're going into Tig. Fellow cooking streamer. I watched her first stream and she is very, very good compared to my first time. So go show her some love if it's your first time. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Thanks for all the love today, guys. And the anonymous donation, thank you. And the host from Lullaboo. I will see you guys Thursday. And what are we cooking Thursday? I don't even know. See, I'm so far behind. Okay, bye.